I'm looking over your shoulder and I'm looking at some of this, a very small part of your fantastic collection. I wonder if we could actually have a little stroll through them as we're speaking about them, because I know some are very special to you and some have got an incredible history.
These are the guitars that work for a living.
These are the working ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the others work, but
yeah. Yeah.
Not as often.
This is interesting because it's all black and shiny, and it's more of a tradition. It's almost like a cross between a precision bass, but with the lower bout sort of cut off.
You stole my line there.
Did I?
Yeah, I mean, it's got a graphite. It's basically a more commercial version of my weird shaped buzzers. I mean, the shape puts a lot of people off. So this is basically for someone who wants to look more normal.
And this wonderful piece of Who history, which I feel very privileged to be witnessing.
The bass I'm going to be buried with, which is a shame because I'm being cremated. So goodbye. It goes with me.
My favourite Who album is Who's Next. And I know it's considered by many to be a classic, but does that hold fairly fond memories for you, that album?
Yeah, I mean, while we were recording it, it didn't feel like it was going to be a classic album, and then when it was turned from a double album into a single album, it suddenly, Barbara O'Reilly and Won't Get Fooled Again provided us with our whole stage act pretty well. It completely changed our stage act. So that's an important album as far as that's concerned.
Because you never really know, do you? When you're going into the studio to record something, or when you're writing a piece of music, you don't sort of think, oh, I'm writing a classic piece of music. You just don't know that, do you? You just do your best at the time.
No, I mean, you can tell when you've nearly finished an album that it's going to be like a milestone. But you don't know when you first start, and you think, like, don't like this song, love this one. But when they all fit together, it stands up as an album rather than separate songs.
Absolutely, John. That's what makes an album a classic, isn't it? When the whole thing hangs together from start to finish.
And also the fact that you've got an album with no padding. I mean, some people will just stick a song on and go, good, that'll finish the album off. That's the 10th song or the 9th song. And the real classic albums are ones where you treat everything as the main song.
And the whole thing's
no crap to pad it out.
Yeah, it's a cohesive whole. Why do you think it became a classic?
I think it's once it was performed on stage, it took on a whole different meaning. I mean, the whole Won't Get Fooled Again started off as quite a normal song. Once it was transferred to stage with all our stage sounds and the pyrotechnics and the lasers and stuff like that, it became a whole entity. Had a whole entity of its own. The same with Barbara O'Reilly, and I think because we did a lot of improvisation on different songs, solos that stretched on a little bit longer, like solos in My Wife and stuff like that. It takes on a whole different entity. I mean, when you go back and listen to the album, it's like, oh, I thought it was better than that.
So this is the very bass, John, that was used on so many Who albums. So much of your history and Who's history is embodied in this piece of salmon pink wood.
Live at Leeds, Tommy, Who's Next? I mean, it was always the precision that I went back to, and I call it Frankenstein. I put it together one night in San Francisco. I really had a night off, so I got Bob Pridden, our roadie, who also works in the studio now. I got him to go and get the 5 smashed up basses that I had, and I put one good one together. And it used to be Sunburst. I had it sprayed this colour as a retirement present for it, like a sort of gold watch. But, it's always the one that I go back to. It's the
it
one
deserves it, doesn't it?
With and, the whole thing. I mean, it's the bass that I've used the most, I guess. I mean, I retired it because I got used to having more, talkative neck. And,
I was watching you there earlier on, though, because you've got although it's a very strong sound, it's a very delicate, light touch. And this technique would work well with what you're doing. Developing the...
Just getting the...
Just getting the
Get me thinking now that long.
That's right, that's it. That's all you got to do, get the thing, and then it's alternate. On 6-string bass, it'd be wonderful. And backwards.
Yeah, let me show you what I do. This is the bass player. And that's the bass guitarist.
I'd love to see just a little glimpse at your guitar storeroom. Maybe go look at a couple of bits.
Okay.
All right, lead on to the
Upstairs.
guitar room. I shall place this somewhere.
You better, you better, you better.
Oh, he's forgotten.
That's my studio.
Oh, you wanna tell it?
John's forgotten where his guitar is.
I sometimes feel I should just go home, but I'm feeling with a memory to never forget. I love to hear you say
It's open.
my name, especially
It's open.
when you say yes.
Oh, wow. Look at this lot. Where do you start? Where do you I mean, what? I mean, for straight away, we have a collectible guitar.
Yeah, so I have to look at the cases to find out what year they
Yeah. It's old though, isn't it? That's for sure.
Yeah.
And if I keep bashing the headstock on that thing, you won't be very happy with me.
It was old.
It was old. It's now. That looks like a custom Telecaster.
Oh yeah, it's one of the first guitars I actually bought.
Well, let's have a look at that, John, because that looks really interesting.
Well, it's second hand in Sound City. Someone had taken it in part exchange.
Yeah.
And I just happened to be looking for a telly, so
Yeah.
let's put this one back.
That's right. There's a case for it. Is it true, John, that you sold the entire collection a few years back and then started again?
I sold 50 because I needed some finance for my studio. I was making an album and I wanted some new outboard equipment. So I figured there were a lot of guitars that I didn't really need.
Yeah.
And then when I went out on the first Who comeback tour, I bought 75, so
So
maybe
yeah.
plus 25 more.
Because I know many of your guitars are in most of the famous guitar collector books, like the Ultimate Guitar Book. There's some of your guitars in the American Guitar Books. There's always somewhere along the line a John Entwistle guitar as a prime example of this instrument. Like, is it the Gretsch Penguin?
Yeah,
That's
gone now.
That's gone now. And the White Falcons. You've had several White Falcons, haven't you?
Still got that.
Yeah.
Even some of the guitars, like amongst the 50 that I sold, I decided that I wanted to keep all the guitars that played great.
Yeah.
And the Penguins were real pigs. He didn't play very well at all.
No, they never did though, did they? They looked great, but
Yeah.
in terms of actually playability, they're quite fragile guitars, weren't they, Gretches? They were quite lightly
the
built.
neck joints were kind of
Yeah.
dodgy.
I've also noticed you got some new guitars. You got some like Fender Strat 90s Red Custom. So
I
what?
got so fed up looking for like a pink Strat with a blonde neck, and they always seem to have like rosewood fingerboards. You know? And so I thought, well, damn it, I'll just tell them exactly what I want, and they can make me.
Yeah. So what decides you to buy a guitar? I mean, as you say, as you just said, it's not necessarily an old guitar. It can be just something that you find
It's,
attractive.
Not so much the playability, because I'd know when a guitar was a real bad one. Yeah. But I guess it's a condition. You're always looking for the same, the exact same model, only better condition. You start off with buying a few basses that have got chips on them, and then you find one that's spotless, and then you buy that one instead and sell the other one on. It sort of goes on trying to weed out the.
Like most collectors, is it like the thrill of the hunt, if you like, finding that perfect example?
No, I used to get the people to bring the guitars to me, before the concert. And I sort of decide during the concert which ones I was going to buy, which ones I wasn't. But I don't know. The actual thrill for me was actually to have it, to actually have it in my possession, and then come up here and open the case and go, "Wow, I can't remember buying that one."
Yeah, it's a thrill, isn't it? Yeah. Can I just have a look at this Telecaster? This was the first one that actually was part of the. Yeah.
Yeah, this is right. You have to actually get through an Irish Wolfhound and 9 Rottweilers to actually get into this room. So I wouldn't actually recommend anyone try to steal anything.
No, let's get that clear from the very start. This room is impenetrable. Is that the word? I think it is. I think you've got more guitars than Steve Howe. I mean, Steve Howe's got quite a collection, but I think you've.
It fluctuates. I mean, it's been under 200. It's been under 100. It's been over 250 at some point. Yeah, so it's kind of.
Yeah. So the collection is still evolving as such. It's still evolving.
One time I had something like 16 Stratocasters, which is kind of.
Are there any guitars that you wouldn't sell? I mean, you wouldn't sell this, for example, because it was the first one.
No, it plays well enough. Although the action looks a bit high at the moment. It's the heavy strings.
Yeah, but for sentimental reasons as well, because this was the first one you bought.
It was the first actual guitar that I bought.
Yeah.
6-string guitar.
Things have changed though. I mean, when you were touring the States in the early days, you could still get guitars in pawn shops, couldn't you, and things like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I bought my Explorer for $3,500.
Right.
And that's worth over $100,000.
Yeah.
So, well, that was way back in 1975 when you could still get bargains. Now it's pretty well impossible.
Are there any guitars is there a particular guitar you think that's the one I still want to get? Is there a dream guitar, if you like?
No, not really. I mean, I've got my Grit 6120. I've got some really beautiful Stratocasters.
Yeah.
Not really looking for any more.
No.
I mean, I'm concentrating on basses that I can use on stage now. More interesting to me to make sure I have the perfect bass guitar rather than a perfect example of something.
That's right.
I think probably my collecting days are over, but there again, when I'm on the next tour, if someone brings up.
That's right. Yeah, because word gets round, doesn't it? You are famous throughout the guitar collecting world as being a collector.
But I resent having to pay like sort of $15,000 for a guitar that would have cost me.
Yeah.
Or any of these. I mean, this Fender bass here, it's probably.
Let's put that back.
Leo Fender said that the first 5 basses that he made had a different scratch plate material.
Right.
And that the only way you could tell one of the first 5, because they didn't use the tail pieces, which had the serial number, they didn't use them in any consecutive order.
Right.
So one of the first 5 would have a scratch plate that was cracked up to hell, because after the first 5 they changed the scratch plate, so it didn't go like this.
And that's it.
But no other scratch plates like this have come forward, so this can actually be classed as the first Fender bass ever made, because it's the only one with a messed up scratch plate. I mean, although it says number 47, I have the right to call it number 1. So that's number 1.
This is in a few books, yeah?
Well, as far as anyone's concerned, it's number 1. Maybe the other 4 had the scratch plates changed on them.
Wow. What does it sound like?
Horrible.
Yes.
It sounds like it plays.
Yeah, because the pickup's right there in the middle there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it should probably be to get the sound you would like.
A lot of the old ones like this I've had, you can't hear the E string at all. It's much quieter than the rest.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a way of poking the pole piece through, but I've never dared to actually do it.
Leave it alone, but what an incredible thing to have. Again, you wouldn't sell that.
No. Because
you can't replace it.
Not really,
Yeah.
In fact, I mean, because it plays so lousy. I mean, it's probably not worth that much, but it is worth a lot historically.
Absolutely, and that's what
It's
that's
definitely one of the first 5
to a collector.
first one.
Yeah, that's great, John. Thanks. I'll hold that lid open.
Eventually, Dwayne Eddy came down here, and he kept going on about his Gretsch was the most. Gretsch told him that his Gretsch was the most beautiful 6120 ever made.
Yeah.
And I said, well, no, I think, but I've seen yours on the record cover, and it's not as nice as mine. And he said, well, okay, show it to me. So I showed it to him.
And he said it is. Look at that.
Lying bastards.
Look at that. That is called quilted maple, yeah? That just moves with the light.
We were
That
talking
is,
about the springs.
yes. I can see that even with,
$250 spring.
yeah, I can see that. What's the back of it like, John? Is it as beautiful as the front? Not
It's
bad.
usually very plain.
Yeah, but that's got beautiful figuring on the maple there. It's still got the original. They're called Imperial.
They had different ones, but I managed to buy these old ones.
Yeah, Grover Imperials they're called. Art Deco. Beautiful. Yeah, that is the most beautiful looking Gretsch.
It's
I think.
amazing how you need the right spring on the Bigsby. It's got
Yeah.
to feel, get
Very sweet.
that flowing.
And it sustains. You got this this theory that this mass gives it more sustain. Well, it's more than a theory; it's a fact, isn't it? The Bigsby gives it that sustain.
Yeah, it's got more bulb. It's more, goes up to 11.
It goes up to 11. Yeah. Don't even touch it. You can hear it sustaining.
Yeah, can you hear that?
Can you hear that?
It's still going.
It's still going. don't touch it.
Yeah, I'm sure they based that movie on us. Mission of Us and Status Quo.
Yes, probably.